Hello everyone, welcome to another Open Mind Intuitive Tarot message. This message will be for the collective for the next 24 to 48 hours. So hopefully it will resonate with you or give you some sort of guidance at a time that you're seeing this message. We'll see what the chakra oracle cards have to say for you guys. Release. Okay. Yesterday was Halloween. We're still in that energy. We have somebody in the cemetery, letting go of the past, releasing emotional baggage, psychological baggage, physical baggage, letting something go, letting sleeping dogs lie. It's over. It's okay to move on from something. Some of you guys are holding a grudge, or like you are still stuck in the past because you haven't gotten closure, because you're not happy in your life right now. So because you're unhappy in your life right now, you're not where you think you should be or where you want to be. You're still holding on to something that has long ended. Negative experience, breakup, childhood trauma. You have permission to let that go. You're free of that experience. And once you let this go, you'll have the bandwidth, the agency, and you'll be aligned with a more positive future. This is Cancer energy, 4th house, 8th house, 12th house energy, somewhat Scorpio as well. Scorpio, Cancer mainly. Holding on to someone or something that has long left your life. You'll feel happier once you do this. You will feel much happier once you get over this situation. And because you'll be happier, you'll have like more optimism for your future. And you may start experiencing more serendipity, divine providence, good luck. Jupiter is in Cancer currently. So there is a window of time from now until June of next year where you can completely turn your life around if you just release what you've been holding on since your childhood, from past lives. If there's like a lot of planets in your South Node, aspect in the South Node, aspecting Pluto, the 4th house, is releasing karmic baggage, emotional baggage. You're okay. Okay, so you're alive, but you're in the realm of the dead. You're walking amongst the dead, but you are alive. So your life has stopped. You have paused or stopped your own progress, your own life, because you're stuck on the past. You're stuck in the past, you're stuck on it. And so you have these dead bodies here, which could be memories, could be people, experiences. Those things are buried, and you are walking among these frequencies, experiences, emotions, memories, whatever, holding on to it. And that's why you're not able to move on. This person's back is turned away from the sun here. The sun is trying to peek through the clouds here, but their back is turned. They don't want to hear anything. They don't want to move on. They're bitter and resentful because they're blaming their childhood or their parents or their exes for where they are right now. And that's not the reason. You'll feel so much better when you let this go. You'll have a whole new lease on life when you release all this energy here. Whether it's sadness, regret, anger, bitterness. Some of you guys may have been abused a lot as children, to the point where you don't even feel like you have permission to be happy. You're scared to be happy because of how traumatic your childhood has been. So this is all you know. But you're not comfortable here anymore. That's why this card is here. You're not comfortable any longer. Let me get something else. Hold on, guys. Now I'm compelled to get another deck because of how this reading is going. We shall see. So release, and let's get into some other oracle messages. So yeah, you're so used to pain and trauma and loss that you have lived in this space for a long time. Many years, many months. And your back is turned away, or you're facing away from the sun. Your back is turned toward the sun. You won't allow yourself to resurrect. You're walking among the dead, or you're like the living dead. You're a zombie. You feel zombified. You feel empty. You feel lost. Your life has lost color. You may be wearing a lot of gray, a lot of muted colors. You may become a hermit. What's happening? Clinging, holding on, obsessing, and spying. Yeah, you need to let this go. This is Scorpio energy, Cancer energy, 8th house, 4th house, 12th house energy, Pluto, Saturn even. And what's interesting, you don't have an umbrella. You don't have an umbrella, so you're not even protected from the elements. You want it to rain on you or something like that. It's like you don't feel safe anywhere. You don't feel like you belong. You feel orphaned, isolated. There's no life here. You're like a mummy, or you're not a mummy, a zombie. So because you're in this cemetery, you think that your life is over, or your life, nothing is growing in your life because you're in the cemetery. You're not in a park. You're not in a forest. You're not in a jungle. You're not in a city space. You're in a place where there's only dead bodies. And that's the realm you've been living in for a while. The space you've been living for a while. It's the thing with the past, childhood. Maybe being too proud to let go. Like, it's okay. Like, once you release whatever this is, you'll feel free, liberated, light, optimistic, hopeful, happy, less fearful, less paranoid, less angry, less bitter, less jealous. What's happening for the collective as it pertains to this message? Nourishing yourself, self-growth, self-focused, and soul-finding. And that's not happening here. There's no growth here because you're not nourishing yourself. You're a zombie. Zombies don't eat food. They eat dead, or they eat people. They're vampires. Finding your soul, right? Which is your solar plexus, the sun. So your sacral chakra, your solar plexus chakra is also dim, weaker in some way. You may need to create something. You've lost your creative spark. You're afraid of creating. This is like a fear of life. Somebody's 5th house could be afflicted. Their 4th house could be afflicted also. Afflictions with like malefic planets like Pluto, Saturn, the South Node, Mars, sometimes Neptune. Intimacy, bonding, sensual, confining. And you can't be intimate in a cemetery. Intimacy comes from trust. And you're by yourself. So there is no intimacy. This is Cancer energy, the moon, and this is Scorpio energy, Mars and Pluto. You could be in this space because of an ex. Some of you guys could look like this. Thin. Are they wearing a jacket? This person's not even wearing a jacket. You may like to walk out in the rain with no jacket, no coat. You like getting rained on or something like that for dramatic effect. Hold on. I forgot there's a song playing in my head right now. It was really popular. I forgot the name of the song, so I won't even try. But one of the lines of the song is, "In my dreams, I'm dying all the time. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to lie. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to lie. So this is goodbye." The name of that group got sued by the company, by the band that they sampled that song from. So they went bankrupt and never produced another album. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to lie. So this is goodbye. In my dreams, I'm dying all the time. Then I awake with this clouded mind. Yeah, this is like the dark night of the soul, the living dead, a zombie. And I think in the video, the guy's walking slow motion through the city. His life is in slow motion. It's like he's not even in the same energetic space, or he's not even in the same timeline as the people around him. He's in the past. He's slowed down. Okay, so let us continue with, should I use this deck or this one? I'll use this one. Let us continue, Spirit Guides, with this message. Thank you for your support. The Light Seers Tarot. Please continue this message for the collective. In my dreams, I'm dying all the time. The King of Swords, air sign, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Libra also. So the King of Swords is an air sign male. You may be the air sign who this reading is for. You guys may have Saturn in Aquarius. You guys may have Saturn in the 11th house. This could be a father figure who is stern, detached, cold. You've become that yourself. So this is logic. The left brain. This is purely right brain emotional stuff. You may be guided to look at things more rationally, more objectively. Getting out of your feelings, the devil, yeah. That's the only way you'll get out of this situation, because the devil is feeding off your emotions. It's feeding off your emotional responses to, or your emotional perspective about what's happened to you, like the victim narrative that you have. Life sucks, life is so bad, I'm pitiful, I'm worthless, I'm this, I'm that, nobody loves me, nobody wants me, I'm a failure, all that stuff. That's keeping you here. As you notice here, you see the person has their hands above their ears, on their ears, the same way this person does. I don't want to hear the truth. I don't want to hear. You see the same thing. The devil is here. Saturn in the 5th house. Saturn in Leo. Saturn in Aquarius. So the devil is using your emotions and your memories to keep you bound to this energy in this zombie mode. It's almost like an alternate universe or reality. So the world around you is colorful, but you only see black and white and gray because of what you've been through. It's like you want people to feel sorry for you, or Yeah, you want people to feel sorry for you. There could be Pisces energy here too. So the King of Swords uses their logic to overcome their vices, their fears, right? The King of Swords cuts the strings that the devil is using to control this puppet. Okay, let me zoom out. Right, this person is in despair. They're haunted by their memories, by their thoughts, and their thoughts are controlling their emotions. Here, you're being asked to control your emotions with logic, with facts. Are you still in the same situation you were in 5, 10, 15 years ago? Why are you really holding on to this? Why are you really still upset? There's a lack of closure here. Something has to be buried. I feel like this person is in this cemetery to dig up dead bodies. Not literally, but this person's there to dig up the past. They're constantly digging up the past to find their casket. If I feel dead, then I should be able to find my body in this cemetery. Why is my body not in this hole? Why isn't it in this grave? This person could be looking for themselves in this grave. Where am I? Who am I? Where is the person I used to be? I've lost myself. I'm stuck. I'm trapped. This person could be in the cemetery looking for themselves among the people who have hurt them, among these memories. It's almost like trying to put together or what's the word? It's right at the tip of my tongue. Not responding. It's almost like reintegrating, but also there's another term for it. Not reverse engineering, but you're trying to recreate, rebuild, retrograde energy. You're trying to recreate and rebuild yourself through these fractured identities or these experiences. So here's when I was molested. Here's when I was bullied. Here's when I got broke up with. Here's when I got cheated on. Here's when I lost my job. All these little pieces of yourself have been buried. It's like you've buried a piece of yourself with these experiences, and you're trying to regroup, reassemble. That's the word. You're trying to reassemble or assemble your ego identity using these dead experiences. It's like they took something from me. Every time something bad happened to me, I lost a piece of myself. So if I stay in this cemetery with these dead memories or these experiences, I can put myself back together. Humpty Dumpty. Please continue with this message. Humpty Dumpty. There's something about someone trying to put themselves back together again. That's why they're still in the cemetery, because they feel like this is where the crime scene happened. So this is where I lost myself, right? As a child, you know, this is when I lost myself, when my parents beat me, my parents got divorced. The death card, yes. The cemetery. Death and rebirth, 7 of Wands. Protecting your peace, Queen of Wands. You see, these wands energy represent the spirit, vitality, sacral, solar plexus chakra, something to do with your family. Dynamic Queen of Wands, who is the opposite of the King of Swords. This is Aries, this is Leo. 7 of Wands representing boundaries, protecting your peace. Protecting your inner child, the Queen of Wands, and restoring your vitality. Going from this energy to this energy. Someone who's vibrant, attractive, sexy, creative. Solar plexus. Leo energy is very prominent here. You could be Leo sun, moon rising. You could have malefics in your 5th house. Saturn, Pluto, South Node. The death card is here. Scorpio energy as well. Pluto in the 5th house. Chiron in the 5th house. Chiron in the 4th house. The Hierophant. traditions, customs, justice reverse, unfair treatment, education, training, Seven of Cups, confusion. Okay. I'm hearing something about the body of Osiris being put back together again. Osiris was killed and cut up in pieces. Was it 12 pieces or 13 pieces? And then his Isis finds him and puts his body back together again, which is the moon. Osiris is the sun. So you may have to heal your emotional body or your emotional state in order to heal your ego identity. The sun represents how we project ourselves into the world. The moon represents our source of stability, our sense of stability, how we create stability and value. How do we secure and nurture our ego identity? Right? Moon energy, moon in Taurus, moon in Cancer. Moon in the fourth house, moon in the fourth, moon in the fifth. How do we nurture our identity? Moon, sun, and there could be a dissonant aspect between the sun and the moon. It could be a square opposition between the sun and the moon, right? So you may not know how to nurture yourself or your identity because you may have believed that you can't get what you want and what you need at the same time. You have to sacrifice your wants for your needs or vice versa. So I need security. Because I need security, I'm going to put up with this abusive relationship partner who strips me of my self-esteem, of my resources, of my identity, my integrity, right? Something like that. So somebody's wants and needs were not integrated. There was an imbalance here. Hierophant representing Venus and Taurus or Venus and Libra sometimes. Justice card, Libra is reverse. There could be a Libra energy here too. Moon in Libra, Saturn in Libra, afflicted moon in Libra, aspected by Pluto or Saturn or Mars. This is a family situation that you are resolving or trying to resolve here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 11 here. The Justice card. Number 11. Yeah, there's no closure. They did me wrong. They did me dirty. They must pay, but they're not going to pay because this happened 20 years ago. It happened 5 years ago. It happened 10 years ago. You have to give yourself closure. What does the collective have to release? Six of Pentacles. You have to release your attachment to circumstances and situations that leave you feeling depleted. I don't know if this person is contributing to the pot with this pentacle or they're taking away. Either way, there are 5 pentacles here. And there's a 6th one being inserted or pulled away. It depends on your vantage point, right? So are you creating a 5 of Pentacles? Or are you creating a 6 of Pentacles? Are these memories and is this attachment to what happened in the past? Is this actually enriching you in some way? Is it validating you in some way? Is it nourishing you in some way? This is Taurus energy. Okay? How is whatever you're attached to nourishing you? We have the 2nd house and the 8th house. You could have inflicted 2nd and 8th house too. Pluto, Saturn, Mars makes a house afflicted for the most part. So there's something that you're holding on to that's either creating a feeling of loss and lack and poverty, or you are taking something away from yourself that's creating this experience. So are you causing a problem? Are you trying to fix it? Or are you trying to sustain it? So what can you add to your life to rectify the situation? What can you do on a daily basis to help you heal from whatever this is? You need to add something to your life, not take things away. You've taken enough away as it is. You don't even have an umbrella. You're completely like stripped of all of joy, resources, community, family, friends. You have nothing left. What can you add to your life at this point to nourish yourself, to create something new, to change it from the 5 to the 6 of Pentacles? The King of Wands, vitality, creativity, confidence, strength. Saturn and Leo, Saturn in the 5th house. You have to create something, or you have to create your own reality. But that requires confidence. That requires self-love, finding yourself, putting the pieces of your identity back together. I did not look at the bottom of this deck for a reason. And I don't know if I should do it now. I should wait. I'll wait till I pull from one other deck and see if there's a connection. But there's a card beneath here that might give us more insight into what's happening here. We'll see. But yeah, so this is the King of Wands, the counterpart to the Queen of Wands. This is a divine partnership, coupling, relationship. But this is masculine and feminine. The masculine expression of fire is, well, masculine and feminine, they're both creative, right? They're both attractive. They're both confident. This is Leo, the 5th house. This is Aries, the 1st house. The 1st house representing the house of the personality, of how you present yourself to the world, right? Of how you react and respond to people based on what you want, how you relate to others by the way you see yourself, by the way that you perceive the world, how you distinguish yourself from others, first appearances, the physical body, nurturing and nourishing your physical body, the solar plexus. Leo is the 5th house of creative endeavors, children, healing your inner child. Your inner child has to be healed. They're broken in pieces. Mommy's gone. Mommy got sick. Daddy was not there. I was abused. I was mistreated. I was poor. I was whatever. All these little fractures. And you're staying in the cemetery trying to find yourself. You're staying in the land of the dead trying to find pieces of your identity that were stripped, but it's not here. The memories are here, but it's actually here. This is where your soul is, and you're turned away from it. And this requires a higher perspective or a higher state of consciousness and awareness, which is Aquarius energy. The polarity point for Aquarius is what? Leo. 5th, 11th house axis. You guys could have Saturn in the 11th house. I mentioned it earlier. Saturn the 11th. Saturn in the 5th. Saturn in Aquarius, Saturn in Leo. So with Saturn the 11th or Saturn in Aquarius, you feel isolated from the group, unwanted by the group. You may feel ostracized. You may be a loner. Same thing with Saturn and Leo to an extent. And the challenge is for you to find your identity or to find your tribe. But in order for you to find your tribe, you have to discover who you are first. So you can't find the people you're supposed to link up with, your crew, your clique, whoever. You can't find that until you know who you are first and foremost. And that's the issue. What's going on with this? Underneath the deck, recovery. Yes. Healing. rebuilding, restoring. There's a key here. Keys unlock locks to doors, doorways, pathways. Is there a locked door or a key in any of these cards, or keyhole in any of these cards? We'll see. It may come out in the other cards I'm looking at. In order for you to recover, you have to create boundaries for yourself. This is Saturn in Aquarius, or the Aquarius sun. Even, where is this keyhole? There's a key, there's a lock somewhere. Recovery, healing from something. Once you release this, you'll recover. You'll be healed and restored in some way. But again, you have to give yourself permission to experience this. Some of you guys are afraid of being happy. You're afraid of, it's like you don't even know who you are without this. You don't even know who you are without this baggage. You have identified with your trauma to the point where you have completely lost your sense of self. Self-growth, self-focus, soul finding. You've externalized your identity to these tombstones, which represents like fractured or like challenging experiences in your childhood, traumas. Your childhood traumas define you. So you've suppressed your voice, you've suppressed your soul's growth or expression in some way. You guys may have a creative spark. You may be creative people, dancers, singers, writers, musicians, artists of some kind. Let me get a keyword for the collective as it pertains to this message. Keywords for the collective. Friend, trust. This is Aquarius energy. Quiet, comfort, comfortable, hanging out. Do nothing with someone that you like. Do you have someone that you can do nothing with? Do you like people? Do you have people who are like that in your life? Or if you don't have that, you can be your own friend, first and foremost. Do you have someone in your life you can just hang out with? It's not sexual, purely platonic, a friend. Do nothing with someone that you like. That is Leo and Aquarius. Someone who appreciates you for who you are. You don't have to be anything special. You don't have to bring any money. You can just be a regular person. And this is the friend space. So the Aquarius component is the friendship, and the Leo component is you showing up as you are to hang out with this person, doing nothing. Right? You're not spending money. You're not going outside trying to flex or stunt or floss or whatever. You're just hanging out with somebody you care about and you like. If you don't have that, then you become that person. Become the friend to yourself that you want to be with. Be comfortable doing nothing with yourself. Not here in this space, in the cemetery, but going to the museum, going to a park, going to the beach, going to the movies, going to a comedy show, having fun. Camel, travel, journey, wisdom, endurance, survival, service, self-sufficiency, stamina, and conservation. It's a very resilient animal. Camels are native to the deserts. They store water. So you guys are self-sufficient. Meaning, I'm not saying you don't need friends like that, but you may have convinced yourself that the reason why you're suffering is because nobody cares about you. You can't do this alone. You need people's help and support to validate yourself or to give you a hand up or a hand out or whatever. The reason why you're in this place is because nobody ever gave anything to you. Nobody ever did anything for you. And that's not the case. You're someone who can sustain yourself without this because you have the Leo Aquarian energy. I don't know what that is. It could be Saturn in Leo again, or Saturn in 5th house, Saturn 11th house, Saturn in Aquarius, whatever. Something like that, where even moon aspects to Saturn. This is self-focus, self-growth, and soul finding. This is all about you. Taking care of you, putting yourself first. Not by being a victim and pushing everybody away because you're so bitter. That's not the case. That's not what you should be doing. Okay? So what you should be doing is first nourishing yourself, Leo energy, and then you'll able to have intimate relationships with other people. A friend, right? Find your tribe, but you have to find yourself first before you can connect with your tribe. And we get one more card and then I'm done with this reading. Hee hee hee. This is the Shaman's Dream Oracle. We'll find out what's going on here. All right, Spirit Guides, what is happening for the collective? I need some advice. I need some advice for the collective as it pertains to this message. We have the Caterpillar, Opportunity, the Crossing, Initiation, First Breath, Beginner's Mind, and the Hand. Okay, the universe is your partner. Deep quiet, meditation, and stillness. You've already been here. Okay, so this is, who's this? This is Caterpillar. Opportunity. That does not look like a caterpillar. It kind of does, but I guess. Oh, cat or pillar. So it's a play on words. Okay. First breath. Beginner's mind. And usually when you die and you're reborn, you have to breathe again. So you may feel like you can finally inhale or you can finally exhale from releasing all of this stuff. When you release, you exhale. You're like, whew, I'm done with this. I'm free. Then it says here, the crossing, initiation. And this is a lonely path. You've gone through this throughout your whole life, perhaps. You were initiated into a new opportunity, a new beginning. The universe is your partner. So this is in your hands here. Let's read what the cards have to say, starting with number 4. 4 is representing the foundations, structures, transformation, opportunity, independence from conditioned responses from your childhood. The moon, conditioned reactions and responses from early childhood experiences. The energy of the caterpillar appears, heralding a time of transformation, the death card, and opportunity. Here, which is the recovery card, there's a key here to open up a new door of opportunity. This door is closed. So you got to take the key, okay? And open the door yourself. Here you're being asked to revise your dreams. And I mentioned the song, In My Dreams, I Am Dying All the Time. What's the name of that song? I forgot. It was so popular in the 90s. When I'm channeling and doing these readings, my memory is bunk. So my left brain gets like deactivated and then my right brain works more. What's the name of that song? It's from The Verve. Verve. That's the name of the group. And I forgot the name of the song. Dang. But it mentions, in my dreams, I'm dying all the time. That's what he says in the song. Here, you are being asked to revise your dream. If it looks and smells familiar, step away from it for the time being. The new cannot emerge from the old. Release these dead bodies, collective. And the youthful and vital cannot emerge from the aged and sickly. And here you are alive in the realm of the dead. You're a zombie. Depressed, dejected, detached. Experiment and surprise yourself with what arises for you in this moment, right? So you have 6 pentacles here. But are you taking a pentacle away? Or are you adding a pentacle? So you're going from the 5 to the 6 or the 6 to the 5. Right? This is experimenting and surprising yourself with what arises for you at the moment, doing something new. Caterpillar is an invitation to test out a new strategy to get a better result, a better, different result. Remember that the definition of lunacy, which is the moon, right, is continuing with the same thinking and behavior and hoping for a different outcome. You're stuck here because you keep replaying the same old message from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months, weeks, years ago. It is time to break away from habitual responses to surprise yourself and startle others, eliciting a smile or frown or look of awe from those around you. So who's going to smile in a cemetery? There's nobody here but you. You need to be around among company, but still retain your identity. Don't lose yourself among the crowd. Do not wait for an invitation from life to practice a bit of outrageousness or for permission. And I mentioned earlier you were asking for permission to move on with your life, or for permission to do the unexpected. That's Uranus energy, right? You guys may have Uranus retrograding back into Taurus, aspecting one of the angles in your chart. Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, or Scorpio. 1st, 4th, 7th, or 10th houses, doing the unexpected. Any other response right now will lead to more of the same and no real change. The 5 of Pentacles, fixed earth. You're the one who has to initiate change. Are you putting something in the pot, or are you taking it away? Are you creating the 5 of Pentacles, or are you creating the 6 of Pentacles? Which is also Taurus energy. But 6s are ruled by Venus, and Venus is about balance, harmony, beauty, sensuality, love, nurturing, so on and so forth. Sometimes the most original response is no response whatsoever. Stand stock still, staring steadily into the eyes of the players in your drama, avoiding engagement until the moment is right. Caterpillar invites you to witness the story unfolding, knowing that deciding on the timing of your action is as essential as finding the best move to make. And when you do act, there will be little doubt in anyone's mind of your determination and the power you unleash. Release and recovery. So once you let this go, there's so much good things, or there's so many good things coming your way. Were you being fertilized here? You were getting fertilized here, or you were fertilizing yourself in this space. When a body is decomposed, it adds nutrition to, and it fertilizes the soil. It enriches the soil. So this death phase you were in is actually quite fruitful if you are going to use this energy and transmute it, death card, into something productive and positive. So this is zombie energy, but zombies are resurrected without healing. They have not gone through the decomposition process. They've been reincarnated without healing. We're walking around this country with a lot of zombies, people who have moved on from trauma without actually healing it. You've actually stayed stuck in this place for a while to fully decompose that old identity you had, and now you're ready to move forward. Because you've decomposed this old energy or this old identity you've had, the soil of who you are, you're now more fertile, you're more creative. This is like somebody who's going through so much trauma, and now they can be a motivational speaker, a pastor, a preacher, an artist. Their trauma has fueled their creative expression, and they've processed it to the point where they can transmute it effectively, unlike a zombie who is, a disembodied, I don't want to say disembodied, who's a disembodied soul. There's no soul in the zombie. They're just animated. They're an animated dead body without a soul. So they can't create. All they can do is kill and consume the flesh of human beings, right? Of living beings, to sustain themselves, like vampire energy. Okay. Next card. That's great news, guys. This is first breath. beginner's mind. Number 21. A fresh start and renewed curiosity. Natural trust, a beginner's mind. Release. It's already done. Whatever you went through is done. When the first breath card shows up for you, it is time to leave the old stories, all these tombstones here, the old stories and tales behind. You have arrived. Okay, you've been initiated already. You have arrived. Take a deep breath, which is inhaling and then exhaling, right? Take a deep breath. You can't take a deep breath until you exhale. So you exhale old air and you inhale new air. You have to exhale the old energy in order to inhale or to have a new breath for yourself. A new breath for your life, right? A breath of fresh air. You can't get a breath of fresh air if you're holding your breath and you're not exhaling, which is releasing that old energy. Take a deep breath and another. There is nothing else you need to do but take in the new world that is revealing itself around you. Trust your natural curiosity. New world, I would say that would be the Death card. The Ten of Pentacles even. This is a family situation, but this is also future prosperity and abundance. There is no need to dwell. There is no need to dwell on how difficult the journey has been. Victim mentality. I'm stuck here because my life sucked. Nobody loves me. Nobody wants me. My exes from 5, 10, 15 years ago moved on with somebody else. And you're still holding on to this very bitter, resentful, Cancer energy, Scorpio, even Pisces. You got to burn that away. Sometimes Capricorn too. You guys have to embrace some sort of Uranian energy. Wherever Uranus is in your chart, whatever house that Uranus is in or whatever sign it's in, use that to get out of this funk. So Uranus in, let's start with just babies. Let's start with people born in the 70s or 60s. Uranus in Virgo. This could be a new health, nutrition, and diet plan, right? A new work habits and routines, a new lifestyle in general, right? Changing up your routine. So instead of doing the same thing every day, do something different at a different time. Your schedule may be too rigid, right? Uranus in Libra, new relationships, new partnerships, new businesses, right? Hang out with different types of people, not just the people you're comfortable with. I'm not saying hang out with goons and thugs and people who are like miserable and like deadly, but if you're used to hanging out with certain type of people, whether it's artists and musicians, hang out with corporate types or librarians or whatever. Uranus in Sagittarius, long distance travel, philosophy, religion, right? You may need to travel more if you have this placement and you're experiencing this. Uranus in Capricorn, this is business, work, finances. You may need to invest your money you may need to use your resources in different ways. So perhaps you have a very strict budget on where you allocate your resources to or what you invest your time, energy, and money into, right? Do something different. Instead of saying, I'm going to spend this much money per month on whatever, I'm going to start investing in your creative projects, not just things that make money, but things that make you happy, things that make you fulfilled, right? Uranus in Aquarius. This is your friends, groups, and associations. Hang out with different types of people who are not like you, right? This could also be getting involved in activism, getting involved with social issues, philanthropy, things of that nature. Society, community, social media, getting on social media, changing your social media algorithm, right? Uranus in Aquarius is what, 1996 to 2003, and I think it was from 2003 to 2011 in Pisces. Yeah, so 1996. So you will be 30 years old now. Then Uranus in Pisces, 2003. You guys should be 22 years old. The oldest should be 22 years old now. Uranus in Pisces, new spiritual beliefs, new practices, getting away from drugs and alcohol and other substances that are preventing you from optimizing your time, energy, and resources, changing up your lifestyle, eating healthier, things of that nature. Depends on what house it's in too. So I might get into that right now. So yeah. There is no need to dwell on how difficult the journey has been or how tight the passage to get to where you are now. Just take it all in, transmute it, and experience the awe and wonder of your arrival at this destination, whatever this destination is. I mentioned a whole new beginning. It's wonderful. You'll be so happy when you're done with this, and that you'll be like, oh my God, is it okay? Am I dreaming? Is this real? Am I really safe? Somebody may be asking if they're really safe. Is it safe to feel happy like this? Like just really, even if your external circumstances don't change initially, that feeling of releasing this and knowing you're going to be okay, and it's okay to let it go. Whatever this is, that's been weighing you down. You'll feel like reinvigorated, renewed. But this is intentional. You have to work at it because you have programmed yourself to stay in this space for many days, weeks, months, or years. So you have to do this every single day until it becomes a habit. Until it becomes the norm, the new normal, okay? Even if it's a familiar place, and I mentioned familiarity too, getting away from what's familiar, this trauma, this pain, this Five of Pentacles. Even if it's a familiar place you have come to many times before, try to experience it as if for the first time. So even if your external circumstances don't change immediately, look at it differently. Have a different mindset. Be more grateful. For you are renewed, which is renewal here. Also, growth, focus, finding. You are renewed, and the old you is no longer your concern, which is what the cemetery represents. You're standing here by yourself among the corpses of old experiences that are completely irrelevant. They're irrelevant. You have to, okay, I will say it this way. If you're angry about what happened to you, how about being angry about the fact that you have limited your happiness, or you have sabotaged your own happiness because of what somebody else did to you 20 years ago? You have to get angry enough to not give a F about the people who hurt you. You care too much about them. That's the problem. Or you care about too much about whoever did what to you, or just being a victim. You have to be angry enough with these people to not give a F about them at all. Not saying you're going to hurt them. No, you're going to be ambivalent toward them, indifferent. I hate you so much, you don't even exist to me anymore. You don't even exist to me anymore. That's how much I don't like you. Not, oh, you know, I hate you so much, I'm gonna think about you every single day. I hate you so much, I want you to come back so I can yell at you. No, if you hate this person or this situation that much, hate it enough to cast it away from your life. You don't deserve to be in my space. I'm better than this. How dare you even come? It's like they didn't even deserve to be around you in the first place. Whoever did this to you, whoever these people were, parents, ex-lovers, people outside in the street, it doesn't matter. They never deserved to be in your presence. And that's the Leo signification. Sort of like arrogance, a little bit, cockiness, being very confident in yourself, not giving a damn about other people's feelings about you. But if Saturn's here, that's not the case. You're very concerned about how people see you, to the point where it's like it's shattered your self-expression. You're afraid of expressing yourself authentically because of how people will react and respond to you being who you are. So you have to stop caring about people, not to the point of being a sociopath. That's not necessary. But to the point where you refuse to give them any energy whatsoever. Any energy, any thought, memory, nothing. You hate them so much they don't exist in your world at all. Past, present, or future. And if you see them again, you don't know them. I don't know you. You have to see it, do it that way. Okay? Practice the beginner's mind, not labeling or naming what you see and experience exactly. Act as if they never existed. Not saying be delusional, because you've already done this already. You've processed and you digested and you've, ruminated and you reflected and assessed and evaluated. You've turned it over. You've just, this constant churning of thought is over. You've done this. You have successfully digested and decomposed and, processes all this information, all this energy, so that you can move forward and act like, I've already learned a lesson from this. I learned a lesson from this. That's it. All the other stuff is just waste, right? When you eat food, your body absorbs the nutrients and expels the waste. This is Scorpio, Taurus. Eating the food, getting the nutrients, right? Taurus, Virgo, even, and then expelling the waste from your body. You guys may have Saturn and Scorpio too. Holding on to old stuff from the past, not being able to release stuff. Intimacy issues, because you can't release the past. That situation that was difficult only a few days ago, for some of you guys it's years. That situation that was so difficult only a few days ago, just be with it and breathe. You have already gone beyond it. You've overcome it and you've resolved it. You did, even if no one realizes yet. Soon they will as you move on. Do not squander the power of the first breath, giving the old narrative mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, bringing something dead back to life. And that's what you've been doing here the whole time. Keeping something alive by staying in that space. I can't move on with my life because, or like when people see you, they see your past. They see your trauma. Before you even speak, they see what you've been through. Right? Some of you guys look like what you've been through. That's not the goal. The goal is to be popping. The goal is to be lit. The goal is to be all the way up. It's like the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands. Again, you're not going to be a zombie because you've done the work. Some people have never done the work, so that's different. You're not that person. You've done this work already, so it's time for you to let it go now. Use it. Do not squander the power of the first breath, giving the old narrative mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Use it for new beginnings to animate a world you can play and create in. Fifth house energy, Leo energy, playing, creating. Not reanimating the dead bodies, the zombies. Don't reanimate those, okay? Reanimate parts of yourself that you've left behind. So instead of having these tombstones, we have all these candles representing what? Creative expression, hope, positivity, enthusiasm, spontaneity, good fortune, opportunity, change, growth, movement, enlightenment. Do not underestimate the power of your breath and the magic of the word. What you're saying to yourself, how you speak to yourself, how you think about yourself. That word. Okay, so we have 1, 2. Let's get into in the hand and the crossing, and then I'm done. Okay. Feeling secure, taken care of. The universe is your partner. And I said, some of you guys are going to ask yourself, am I safe? Once you let this go, because you've been cloaked in this for so long. It gave you a false sense of security, but she has no, or is it she or he? Looks like a girl, I guess. But this person has no umbrella, no jacket, no coat. A false sense of security. And once you shed that, whatever those memories are, or your attachment to the past, whatever that is, you'll be like, oh my God, am I safe? Yes, because you're being embraced by God's protection, God's love. And a lot of you may have been afraid to let this go because you didn't know who you were without this. So that gave you a false sense of security. Holding on to a past gave you a false sense of security because that's how you identify yourself. You identify yourself with your trauma, the past. What happened 5, 10, 20 years ago? Divorce, betrayal, molestation, poverty, whatever that is, okay? Something amazing happens when you contemplate your intimacy here, relationship with your higher power. How do you engage it? Perhaps you might have seen things through the influence of your religious background, the Hierophant, or you may have been exposed to other ways of making that connection real for you. It does not matter the source of your understanding. What matters is what works for you, because it's relative to your experience, okay? You're unique, Saturn or Leo, period. Uniqueness, Aquarius, about being unique within the group of people that you're communing with, your tribe, right? Leo representing being authentic to yourself. There's only one you, okay? For example, if you believe in a punitive God, you will be afraid of punishment for your transgressions. So this is a self-imposed prison. You did not feel like you had permission to be happy because you were taught that you weren't good enough. You were treated that way. God didn't love you. You felt like God didn't love you because of the trauma you went through, the isolation, the pain, the poverty, the whatever. So now you kind of built this world around yourself that was a reflection of the state of your psyche, and it gave you a false insecurity. But now it's draining you. You can't move forward. You're unhappy. If you believe in a version of the higher power that blesses you, you may find it easier to surrender to a relationship of radical trust. And you can't trust. You can't have intimacy without trust. And here we have trust. Quiet comfort. Comfortable hanging out with somebody you trust. Right now, if you imagine relaxing, curled up in the hands of the divine, how does it make you feel? Can you then turn over your needs and desires to that divine power and trust that you're safe and secure and don't have to do anything at all to feel that way? Doing nothing with someone that you like. You don't have to be anything special. You don't have to do anything special. You don't need to have a lot of money. You don't need to be gorgeous or whatever. All these little stipulations you place on yourself to say, I don't have permission to live my life because I don't have enough money. I don't deserve to be happy because I don't have money or a job or a husband or a wife or a house or a car or whatever you think you need to feel validated. My parents don't love me, whatever the case may be, right? You're good enough as you are. Leo energy. Leo, Aquarius. Grace is activated in your life now. You're in good hands. Your work, family, relationships, home, everything. You've done all you can. Now it's time to release. It's over. There's no life left in this past experience. You have learned, you've ruminated, you've assessed, analyzed, reviewed, contemplated. That's it. You have digested this to the point where there's no nutrients left. Now it's time to grow. You have done all you can, so now it is time to rest and recharge instead of producing, doing, acting, strategizing. A hot tea, a good book, a soft blanket are in order. Self-growth, self-focus, soul-binding, nourishing. Somebody drinking wine, there are candles here, rose petals, scented candles, Taurus energy, Cancer energy. Okay, last one is going to be the crossing, initiation. I think this is the last card in that. Is it? Nope, it's not. Okay. Rite of passage, initiation, and you have completed that. Now it's time for you to recover, to heal. You have come to stand on one side of the river. The opposite bank leads into the darkness of the eternal cave, where the old dies and then is born again. Resurrection, death card here, and you're in the cemetery. But again, I feel like, you're not being resurrected here. I think you've been walking around here for a while trying to find yourself in one of these graves. So the resurrection is back here where the sun is. You think your resurrection is going to come from getting some sort of apology or closure from the past, from the person saying, I miss you, I'm sorry for what I did, whatever. Being vindicated in some way. That's not where your resurrection comes from. It comes from you moving on. This is a place where time is forgotten and the seasons cease their dance and stand still, as if in temporary repose. Cemetery. You must cross the river now, honoring and respecting this transition, for it is time to say goodbye to your old ways of navigating your world. This is done. You're free to go. Jupiter, trine Neptune and Saturn, the Sun and Venus and Scorpio. It's over. This is a release, an exhale. So you've recovered, actually. I think you guys are underestimating how much work you've done, how much stronger you are. I think you guys are still stuck like in the past to the point where you think people care about what you're doing. Like you're still in high school, you're still in your childhood home and family, you're still in that relationship it's like you're frozen in time. And that's what this time lapse is. Time is forgotten. And yeah, you got lost in time. You were stuck in time. This has been done. This has been dead years ago. Nobody cares. Some of the people who you think hurt you are probably dead now too, if it's been that long. Like nobody cares anymore. You've processed it. What did you learn from that experience? What would you do differently? Things of that nature, okay? Don't be afraid. You've come to the edge of the river because you are ready. That means you've done the work of it. That's it. Unlike these zombies who have not done the work, right? The ones who just keep moving along, hurting people, justifying their narcissism, being materialistic, greedy, selfish, hurting. You didn't do that. You kind of isolated yourself in a way. You pulled back from life. You went into a cocoon or a shell, which is what this caterpillar kind of represents. Being reborn after a period of, healing, rest. This is transformation, Scorpio energy. I don't know what the cat has to do with this, but whatever. I guess they're trying to be creative. I'll look into it deeper. Because cats do have 9 lives, supposedly. And cats are very limber, flexible, quiet. They're survivors, definitely. So we'll see what that means. You're ready to let go, release of what does not serve you and all the ways in which you've kept yourself from truly living because you're in the land of the dead. Memories, the past, fear, anger, anxiety, shame, regret, remorse, victim mentality. Intimacy, that word again. Scorpio, Pluto, 8th house. In order to have intimacy, you must have trust. You got to trust yourself first. Trust that no matter what happens, you won't lose yourself trying to be something that you're not, or trying to, or looking for validation from people who don't love you, who don't care about you. You can lose yourself that way too. Trying to please people who don't care about you. But I need to, because I need them to survive. I need them to love me because they're taking care of me, like my parents. I need to keep accommodating them because I'm afraid of being alone. Because without them, I'm nothing. I need a husband. I need a wife. I need a boyfriend. I need a girlfriend. I need this car. I need this house. Something that there's a sun, moon affliction here. Opposition or square. You're willing to sacrifice your needs for the things that you want or you're willing to sacrifice your wants for the things you need. I want to be in a loving relationship, but I need this person to pay my bills. I need them for sustenance and support, right? Things of that nature. Intimacy requires vulnerability and truth. Hold on. Is intimacy the other card too? Trust is intimacy, a friend. Are you your own friend, first and foremost? Can you strip away the masks, the ego, and the barriers of false strength to discover what you're really made of? And I mentioned this camel energy is resilience. The false strength. And I mentioned the zombies too. Where's the camel? Wisdom, endurance, survival, service, self-sufficiency, and conservation. I think you've already stripped these masks away. This person has nothing. They're completely bare. No umbrella, no jacket, no coat, nothing. They're not covered at all. I think you've stripped your mask away, or they've been stripped from you by circumstances beyond your control, divorce, job loss, loss of a car, bankruptcy, public humiliation, whatever that is. That's been taken from you as it is. Because they were giving you false strength, a false sense of identity. The other people out here who've been traumatized, but they haven't lost the stuff that they use to validate themselves, they're zombies. They're walking around, not everybody, of course not, but there are people who are really hurt, but they can use their career or their things that they have, right? The shiny, glittery objects, they can use those things to lure more victims and to pretend as if they got it together, or that they're whole and healed because they're making money, or because they have a nice house, a nice car. Meanwhile, they're alcoholics or drug addicts, and you're comparing yourself to these people, not knowing that they have their own stuff to deal with. That's not helping you. Stop comparing yourself to other people also. Libra energy, 7th house energy, opposition energy. You may have a lot of oppositions in your chart, a lot of 7th house placements, or Venus or Libra placements in your chart. Okay? Step in the boat waiting for you, the crossing. I don't see a boat here though. Step in the boat waiting for you. Let it carry you into the cave where the shadows are waiting to be illuminated, so you can be born again. This born again, it's being reborn more than once. Release and recovery. Inhaling. You can't, the first thing babies do when they come out is inhale. Newborns inhale. They take their first breath. They can't cry without inhaling first. Because when you're crying, you're expelling air from your lungs. That's why when they cry, they have these really, really deep, deep cries. And it's like they can barely breathe because they didn't suck up enough air, but while they were crying, to exhale. So they'd be like, rah, and then they would pause for 3-4 seconds, try to catch their breath because they're so angry. And then they would exhale and get more air to cry again. So you need to release all this old air, old energy, old mentality, old beliefs, old values, old attitudes, old knowledge systems, old ways of thinking and being and doing. Anything old, get rid of it. Even old clothes. This person's clothes look old as hell. Step into the boat waiting for you. Let it carry you into the cave where the shadows are waiting to be illuminated, so you can be born again into the world without denial or artifice. Making the crossing is a beautiful, powerful act of highest love. Self-growth, self-focus, soul finding. I'm going to get one more and we're done. Let me get an angel. Should I get an angel number? Let me get an animal totem instead. Animal spirit. Let's try this out. Animales. What animal? We already had a camel earlier. Camels are very hardy. They're survivors in the most harshest conditions. You guys have made it through some really tough experiences, and you're still here. This camel's smiling too. They made it. Do some of you guys have long eyelashes? You might have long eyelashes like the camel. One more, please. Animal totem for the collective. What say you? Which animal totem represents the collective? For this reading, please connect with this energy so that we can resume and close this out. My nose is itching and twitching again. One more, please. I appreciate your support, spirit guides. Thank you so much for clarity, for wisdom, for the language. One card, animal totem. Okay, I'll do it this way. Which animal totem? I'm actually being called to get one more card after this one. A healing journey card. One card, please. All right, I gotta pick it out. Okay, I will pick it out. Peacock spirit. What is this? Leo. Hee hee. 5th house energy. Let it shine. This is the King of Wands. Hee hee hee. And this peacock has a crown on its head. This is definitely Leo. Peacocks strut their stuff. They're beautiful. And they're, you don't really see flocks of peacocks hanging out like that. They do have some of them hanging out in like little reserves and zoos and whatever. But they chilling. And they're glorious all by themselves. Period. You see this light emanating from their chest like a heart chakra. This is you doing something creative, or you, this could be multiple things. Okay. You have permission to give yourself a makeover, to level up your looks physically. Spend money on makeup or hair or clothes, jewelry, whatever. Or you can create beautiful things. Music, art, dance, writing. Create things of beauty, or create things that make people feel beautiful, or create things that enhance the beauty of the world around you. Interior decorating, plants, flowers, this and there. But this is beauty all around. Okay? Hee hee. Okay. Let me get a healing journey card and hold on, guys. Let me find my card, my deck among all of these. Put them away. Healing journey. Here we go. And then we're done. Let's get a healing journey card for the collective. So there could be an affliction to your 5th house, 4th house. Saturn and Leo, Saturn, Aquarius. Things of that nature. Pluto and Leo. Pluto in the 11th house. Saturn in the 11th house. Chiron in the 5th house. Chiron in the 4th house. Manifestation of light, solar plexus energy. I see the beauty in me. Peacock. I grow and develop my inner self, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, Leo energy. I grow and develop my inner self in harmony, Venus, Libra, and Taurus, with light and beauty, either creating beauty around you or beautifying yourself. But you have to see the beauty within yourself to think that you're worth the effort in the first place. Or you have to feel beautiful to create beauty within yourself. I free myself from negativity. My heart transforms. My intellect shines. And my inner light grows. Leo's also intellect because it's ruled by the sun. And it's hard for your intellect to grow if you are stuck on the same things from the past. You can't learn anything new because you're not exposed to new things. So this is like the sun that is here in the background. Solar energy, okay? 5th house, sacral chakra. Let me get one more and we're done. Donezo. One more. Thank you. We have self-love yet again. What does it say here? Self-growth, self-focused, soul-finding, focusing on you and not these tombstones, which are external experiences that have caused internal turmoil or conflict or dissonance. The things that people did to you or said to you, holding you hostage. Like, it's like the Eight of Swords. This is giving me Eight of Swords energy also. But you walked here, or you're sitting here waiting for what? I attend to my needs by listening to my heart, the heart chakra, which is ruled by Leo. Okay, and this is green. The heart chakra is green, which is like these peacock feathers. My inner essence lets me know what is good for me. I respect my limits. Seven of Wands, boundaries. If you don't know who you are, then you can't establish boundaries. I answer to the requests of my body and my soul. Soul finding. If you don't know the language of your soul, how does your soul want to communicate itself? How does your soul want to express itself? I'm sorry. How does your soul communicate with you? How do you talk to your soul? How do you speak with your soul? How do you confer with it? What do you say to it? Can you hear it? Or are you covering your ears? I don't want to hear la 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 la. My life sucks. Nobody likes me. I'm broke. I'm tired. I'm ugly. I'm fat. I'm single. Whatever. I respect my limits. I answer the requests of my body and soul. Thus, I learn to love myself. That is the issue. You would not be here if you didn't love yourself. You loved these things. You're more attached or more connected to these tombstones than you are to yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't be subjecting yourself to this level of abuse. You value the things that you think were taken from you more than you value yourself. Or you think the things that have been taken from you, whether it was your innocence or money or whatever, you think those things are worth more, or you think they define you. You think these things define you. And that was the issue you've always had. Because you may have used those things, whether it was your youth or your body or money or whatever, your career, you may have used those things as a mask to hide your own insecurities. So when those things were taken from you by force or by circumstance, you couldn't deal with it. It was like a narcissistic collapse. Oh my God, he divorced me. She divorced me. I'm single. I lost my career. I lost my house. I lost my status. All of those things that you were using to be a zombie, to play zombie. And God loved you enough to say, I don't want you to be a zombie. I want you to live a whole, fulfilled, affirmed, rewarding, beautiful, connected life. I need you to be here. I need you to be yourself, to share your gifts with the world in some way. You guys may be creative in some way, shape, or form. Music, art, writing, dance, singing, interior decorating, makeup artists. You know how to create beauty or make people feel beautiful by what you say or what you do. The beauty is here. And by sharing the beauty within you, well, you can't share the beauty within you if you don't see it. That's why you're dressed like this, raggedy. Not saying it's all about the clothes. It's not. But this person doesn't even have a jacket or umbrella to cover themselves. They look weather worn, right? Like they're out here just unwanted. They look worn out. old clothes that don't fit right. Nothing wrong with old clothes, but if they don't fit well, then why are you wearing them? You know, just no color. Things of that nature. This person has a nice body, maybe, but they're hiding it with ugly clothes. You guys could be a Leo, someone a rising sign, with like a dissonant aspects like Saturn, Neptune, South Node, stuff like that. So yeah, you don't see your beauty. Because you don't see your beauty, you don't think you can create beauty around you, or you don't know how to express your beauty, or you're not confident in doing that. So exhale, release these tombstones, bad memories, bad experiences, poverty, mistakes, regret, whatever, sorrows, time wasted, cheating on people cheating on you, all this nonsense. Is this irrelevant? Why am I getting irritated? This is irrelevant. All this is irrelevant now. It's buried. You need to leave this alone, okay? All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for listening. Look forward to your feedback. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.